Starting with the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most gracious. I hope all the students will be fine. I am your new teacher, Saqib Qayyum. This is second year class, lecture number 1. We will start from chapter number 1, that is function and limits. So first of all, students will be able to define function, differentiate between domain and range, differentiate between different types of function, differentiate between the other types of functions. So first of all, concept of function. The concept of function was first recognized by a scientist Leibniz. A function is a dependence of one variable quantity on another variable quantity. For example, area of a square depends upon one of its sides. A is equal to x square. Area is a variable and similarly x is a variable. Two variables are involved. One is dependent variable and other is independent variable. Now the notation of function, its notation is y is equal to f of x and read as y is a function of x. Function can also be defined as a relation from set x to set y, and this relation is connected to elements x of set x and elements y of set y. This is a relation between two sets x and y. The elements of x are called domains, while the elements of y are called range. For domain, y should be defined, and for range, x should be defined. We will solve examples related to domain and range in our second lecture. It is very important to note that x is an independent variable and y is a dependent variable. We can also define function as a computing machine. A computing machine needs an input, performs a function on it, and gives an output as y is equal to f of x. Domain is always related to input of the function, that is x, and range is always related to output of the function, that is y. As always, the value of y depends upon x. So now we can discuss different types of function. First one is exponential function. In this function, variable occurs in exponent in such a function. For example, y is equal to a raised to the power x. We can see in this equation that the variable x occurs in power. Similarly, second example, y is equal to 2 raised to the power 3x, and then x is a variable and it also occurs in exponent. The next function is explicit function. It is very important function. In this function, y is easily expressed in terms of x. These functions are called explicit function. For example, y is equal to x square plus 2x minus 1. We can see in this equation that the left hand side of the equation involves y, right hand side of the equation involves only x, and y can easily be expressed in terms of x. Now implicit function. This is the opposite function of explicit function. In this function, x and y both are mixed up and y cannot be expressed easily in terms of another variable x. For example, x square plus xy plus y square. X and y are mixed up and they cannot be easily expressed. Now even function, such a function in which f of minus x is equal to f of x, this function is known as even function and odd function. In such a function, f of minus x is equal to minus f of x, this function is known as odd function. तो इसमें हम देख सकते हैं इवन फंक्शन में कि जब हम x की जगह माइनस एक्स रिप्लेस करेंगे तो हमारे पास सेम फंक्शन वापस आ जाएगा, और ऑड फंक्शन में जब हम x की जगह माइनस एक्स रिप्लेस करेंगे तो हमारे पास वही फंक्शन वापस आएगा लेकिन साथ नेगेटिव साइन उसमें आ जाएगा। इवन फंक्शन की एग्जांपल में आप एफ ऑफ एक्स इज इक्वल टू एक्स स्क्वायर ले सकते हैं और दूसरे में आप एक्स क्यूब ले सकते हैं। और अब जो है इसके वाले से रिव्यू जो है आज के टॉपिक का, जो चीज़ें आपने देखी हैं, कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ फंक्शन, domain and range, function as a machine, types of function, exponential function, implicit and explicit function, even and odd function. This is the review of today's lecture. Now you have to do, uh, this is your work, homework, determine whether the function is even function और odd function. तो इसमें आपने देखना है, ये दो फंक्शंस आपके पास गिवन है, इसमें आपने बताना है कि कौन सा फंक्शन इवन है और कौन सा फंक्शन ऑड है. एंड द सेकंड क्वेश्चन फॉर योर होमवर्क is to search out trigonometric functions and algebraic functions. You have to search out on internet or from your textbook about definitions and types of these two functions with examples. Okay, good luck.